And we're live. Welcome to Let's Talk Markets Live. Good to see everyone again. Let me just double check. I think there are some issues with streaming to some places, so I'm just going to make sure this is working. Okay, I need to share this. Well, Alex, here we are.
Dave, once again.
I know I haven't been in front of the camera a lot lately. There are a few really good reasons for that. It's ski season up here, and my Canadian residency requires some level of participation in winter sports.
I thought you would have been at the Olympics.
That'd be pretty sweet. We are watching a lot of Olympics in this house. I don't know. How are you? Are you guys into the Olympics?
We are. We watched the daily summaries of the gold medals from the day prior. So my girls get a good cross section of all sorts of sports. Obviously, curling. The curling world is on fire with allegations of cheating from none other than the Canadian team.
It's a gentleman's game, okay? And those kinds of allegations have no place in the world of polite people. That's just not how we run things here. You can touch the stone. You touch that stone however you want. Caress the stone. Fondle the stone. Oh, sorry.
That's how you
Epstein
know
files
it's cold.
open in a different tab. So
it's cold in Canada. We can tell. We can tell it is cold in Canada. Luge and bobsled always. I think if I was to excel at one winter sport, just drop me in. I think that genre is where I'd probably be able to push through with.
And bobsled. Speaking of like cannonball inertia.
Yeah, exactly. Cannonball like inertia. Quick processing, remote, more momentum than athleticism.
I'll say biathlon is very popular in this house right now. Speed skating. My daughter likes figure skating, but no one else really does here.
Biathlon reported to be the most grueling of all sports.
It is the least attractive finish line sport. I don't know if you've watched any of it, but like these people who put everything into it, and then they cross the finish line, they collapse, and generally there's like stuff dripping. It's something.
No. It's in contrast to like the men's high air ski jumping, where it's just graceful. Just beauty.
Big air is very popular here.
Yeah, big air.
I don't know if you saw, there was like the dual mogul racing. That was very cool. Very cool sport. Yeah. Okay, so we're not here to talk about the Olympics. As confusing as this might have seemed, but we're wasting a little time letting people join. Good to see everyone on the stream. As I was saying, I haven't been on in front of the camera much, but I've been working a whole bunch behind the scenes. All of us have here at Urvin. And some of you may not know it, but my first love is actually programming. And lately I've been chugging a lot of coffee, cranking Rusted Root, and building all kinds of cool stuff. And today we wanted to take a few minutes and show you what we've been working on. And that's why Alex is here to help me demo some of this tech. So like everyone in this world, we have embraced artificial intelligence. And we are excited to leverage some of this new AI tech in many different ways. What we have done is released a new app and service called Ask Urvin. We have also started to work with public companies to help them adapt AI into their investor relations function and process. And we've created a couple of fun little things, such as a system for better interrogating and understanding SEC rules and regulations. So we're going to show you a couple of these things. today. So Alex, you want to share your mobile app? We've got the best technology here. And Alex is going to pop open the Ask Urvin app, available in Android and iOS stores. There you go. You can see it right there. Lots of good reviews. And so this is a chatbot. But what's interesting about the way that we have adopted artificial intelligence technology is that AI can often, as many of you I'm sure are aware, suffer from a serious problem of hallucination and just making stuff up. And so what we have done is we have taken all this great data that we've got on the Urvin.finance platform and integrated it into the app, so that when you ask it a question, instead of it just making things up, it first categorizes the question that you've asked. It said, okay, here Alex is asking for a market summary. And depending on how, it doesn't matter, generally how you've asked it, it'll understand what you're asking. And then it'll say, okay, if it's a market summary, these are the pieces of information that I want to pull in to provide a robust and informative market summary. And it will then send that information back to an LLM and synthesize it for you and present it to you in a way that gives you some information and helps you understand what's going on in markets. One of the sources we've got has this really cool feature called chatter, and the chatter is actually people calling around, finding out what people on Wall Street are talking about. You can ask, what's the chatter for an individual company? Or you can just say, hey, what's the chatter? And it's going to tell you overall in the market, here's what market professionals are talking about today. I find this to be one of the more interesting functions of the chatbot. I check it every day. I find it very informative. It opens my eyes to things that I might not be aware of that are going on. You can also ask, as I said, what's going on with a particular company? What's going on with GameStop? And this is going to look at price action. It's going to look at news. It's going to look at chatter. It's going to look at different sources. So a lot of these queries are going to pull together different sources of information and try again to sort of synthesize a robust reply to your question. So that's kind of like our news-focused functionality. We can also do things at the sector level. And again, if you're looking for like what's going on in markets, what are the most active sectors, can often be something that people are going to look at in general. They're going to look at sector heat maps. They're going to look at news. They're going to try and understand where the trends are. And so here, what are the most active sectors? Well, here's what's happened over the past week. Notable performance variations. You've got utilities, real estate, tech and information. Tech, we know, there's been some serious issues in software. That's, surfacing with that kind of query. And, something like what's moving the S&P, it's going to try and look at all the news that's relevant and again, come up with something hopefully informative. We've also sort of integrated some educational information into this. But if you want to ask it about specific things, maybe you're doing some research and you can quickly, let's look at Burry's picks. What is NVIDIA's PE ratio? Again, you can ask these broad general questions, or you can ask these much more specific questions. And it's going to give you, from good sources of data, reliable sources of data, a quick blurb of information. You can see it's pretty responsive. It's pretty quick. We've worked really hard to make sure that it's able to answer these questions in a reasonable amount of time. And, you can compare different stocks. So here, we're asking what's NVIDIA's PE ratio, what's Palantir's PE ratio. But generally speaking, maybe you want to say, hey, compare these two stocks. Tell me how they look side by side. And again, this now is going to do like a much more fulsome exploration of the financial metrics of these companies, and give you a comparison between the two. And so far, everything we've been doing is sort of at the quick question answer. There's also the deep dive functionality, which will give you like a much deeper, as you would expect, and more detailed response and treatment for the question. Then we've also integrated data from several unique sources. Like I was talking about our news, one of these is Prospero.ai. And they are an Urvin partner, and we've worked closely with them. And so, we're not here to give you financial advice every time you ask something like, should I buy a stock? Should I buy GameStop? We're not going to say, here's our financial advice. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but we can answer a question like this by telling you, here are all these AI-driven signals that Prospero has, and here's what they mean. And you can take that information and use it to inform your own decisions, complement your own research. It's not investment advice. We can't give that to you. We don't know what your portfolio looks like. But we can tell you, here's what we think these AI signals mean. You can ask it like, what do you think Tesla's price will do in the near term? And again, we can take a look at what Prospero says about what's going on across multiple different metrics, the options market sentiment, social sentiment, dark pool activity, short pressure, and technical flow. And, what does that mean? Is it near-term bullish? Is it near-term bearish? Is it neutral? And if you have a specific question about one of those metrics, you can say, oh, well, what's going on with dark pool activity on, Microsoft, for example. And it's going to give you a more, sort of a deeper response on just that specific Prospero metric and what it means.
I'll interrupt real quick and note that despite my poor typing, it still returns the right and accurate answers.
Yes.
Dark pools activity, not so much, but I think we all understand, and as does Ask Urvin, which is great.
Yep, that's right. It's got the flexibility of an LLM, but with the reliability of the Urvin data. We've also got, a quick watch list. You want to throw stocks into a watch list, super easy, pop them right in. You can see delayed prices, but now you've got a watch list and you can say, hey, what's going on with my watch list? And it'll take a look at whatever stocks you've got in your watch list, and then it'll give you at least a taste. It's hard to do it in this sort of form factor, but it'll give you all the headlines for all your watch list stocks. And then from there, you can deep dive into any of them. And you can see, for example, there with NVIDIA, it's even got like the market chatter. So again, a unique source of information, same with Apple, that you're not going to really find in a lot of other places. And that's what we're excited to bring to everyone as part of this Ask Urvin app release. So, if it's something that looks interesting to you, check it out in the Play Store or the Android App Store. Use it, and there's a way to put feedback, thumbs up, thumbs down directly in the app. We're really excited to see how people use it. How well it works for what you're asking. We've done a lot of testing as much as we can. We've had in previous episodes, Eric from Outlier Trading on talking about it and how he's been using it. And, we're really interested now to get it out into the real world, see how people use it, see where its strengths and weaknesses are, and know that we will be, working on it and iterating it and watching the feedback come in and being responsive to that. So if something doesn't work well,
you can find it where? AskUrv.com, right?
AskUrv.com. Yep. And because there is a web interface to it as well. And if you find a query doesn't work well, give it that thumbs down. I assure you, I'm going to see it on the back end, and then I'll take a look at what's going on. Now I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you all a neat little tool that we have built with the same kind of technology that we have rolled out to our public company clients. Sorry, lost the window. Oh, that's why, because it's in light mode, and I was not looking for light mode. Oh, got tripped up by that. Okay, so share screen. Here we go. So this is a reference, and can you see that? Good.
Yep.
This is what we've done is we've used something called retrieval augmented generation, RAG, to scrape SEC rules and regulations. And so if you're wondering, okay, like, what is Reg Show? I have no idea what this thing is. Can you explain it to me? Okay, yeah, here we go. This is what Reg Show is. It has these rules, and then it links to the actual regulation itself. And you can click on that and see it. You can ask for like a more detailed explanation. Explain Reg Show. So it'll offer different information based on the different ways in which you ask the question. So this has a bit more detailed information. For example, one that I'd like. Okay, what are a broker's best execution obligations? Imagine them actually satisfying those, right? Weird. And it's going to give a pretty detailed, in-depth explanation of what best execution is, what it means, linking all markets together, getting the best possible price, etc., and linking directly to the actual rules. Here's one for all you guys: is naked shorting illegal? And it's got all of this SEC information behind it, and it says that here is the regulation that the security has been borrowed, or there are bona fide arrangements or reasonable grounds, which of course is a legal loophole you can drive a truck through. But again, it goes into, okay, here are borrowing and delivery requirements. Here's what the National Securities Exchanges say, manipulative, deceptive device regulations. These are the anti-fraud provisions. So again, it's something I hope that will help demystify markets, educate people, and provide, accessibility for information that maybe wasn't there before. That's sort of what Urvin is trying to do, which is to take all of this information out there and bring it to you in a way that's understandable and digestible. So if this is something that's interesting to you, you can check it out. The URL is here. I'll put it up right there. So it is at chat.urvin.finance/SEC rules. And you can go to chat.urvin.finance for the web chat bot, or you can download the Ask Urvin app.
Perfect. I think this RAG brain that we've built, both for the chat bot, for the SEC rules, and as we're trying to leverage it for investor relations, it's something that pulls upon Dave's expertise. As he's mentioned, please provide feedback as you're using it. We're looking to iterate and improve and make a product that you folks are really meeting a need for your use. So please download askurv.com, engage with SEC chatbot, and let us know any other feedback. I think we're excited about it. It's functioning pretty well, and it's all about what you folks think, though. So, Dave, anything else?
No, I think that was we wanted to have just a quick update and a easy introduction to sort of Urvin's new direction that we're super excited to show everyone. So
absolutely,
yeah, that's it. I think. Thanks for joining, Alex. Thanks for doing this, and let us know what you think. social media, email, whatever works best for you.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.